The drama surrounding the New York Knicks winning the NBA Cup goes far deeper than a trophy photo or a final score graphic. If all you saw was the celebration, you missed the real transformation happening right in front of everyone. This was not a fluke run. This was not a hot shooting streak. And it definitely was not Jaylen Brunson dragging a limited roster across the finish line by sheer willpower. What this run revealed is something far more important and far more dangerous for the rest of the league. The Knicks have learned how to win differently. That single shift changes everything. A season ago, New York lived in a narrow box. The plan was simple and brutally obvious. Give Brunson the ball, clear out, and hope he solved the problem before the shot clock ran out. It worked often enough to keep them competitive, but it also made them predictable, slow, and fragile when defenses loaded up. The numbers told the story clearly. Brunson dominated the ball at historic levels, and while his brilliance kept them afloat, it also capped their ceiling. Too many possessions looked identical. Walk it up. Hand it to Brunson. Wait. Pray. This season, that identity is gone. Brunson is still the engine, but he is no longer the entire vehicle. His usage is still elite, but the way he uses the ball has completely changed. Decisions come quicker. Actions start earlier. Defenses are forced to react instead of loading up. That 1 second shaved off his average touch time does not sound dramatic, but over the course of a game it completely reshapes the offense. It creates movement. It creates pressure. It creates life before panic ever sets in. The result is a version of Brunson that is somehow even more dangerous. More points, same efficiency, but with less strain and far more control over the flow of the game. Instead of forcing hero moments, he is picking his spots after the defense has already been bent out of shape. That alone makes the Knicks harder to guard than they have been in years. But this evolution only works because the trust is finally spread across the roster. Karl Anthony Towns is no longer being asked to carry a scoring load that stalls the offense. His role has shifted into something far more effective. He accelerates possessions. He ignites transition. His rebounding and hit-ahead passes punish teams before they can even get set. His shooting gravity pulls defenders out of the paint even when he never touches the ball. That spacing opens lanes for everyone else, and it allows New York to attack early without forcing shots. More importantly, Towns has become a connector. The ball does not stick. Reads come fast. Decisions are clean. That balance keeps the offense moving without turning it into chaos. It is controlled speed, and that distinction matters. Mikal Bridges and OG Anunoby are benefiting just as much. Their raw scoring numbers may not jump off the page, but their efficiency tells the real story. Bridges is no longer standing in corners waiting for permission. He is attacking closeouts, cutting behind defenders, and finishing plays at the rim. His efficiency spike is the result of a role that finally matches his skill set. OG's evolution mirrors that shift. His offense comes from anticipation, movement, and decisiveness rather than forced isolation. Steals turn into points. Deflections become momentum. When defenses close out hard, he attacks instead of settling. All of it adds up to one unmistakable truth. The Knicks are faster, smarter, and far more connected than they were a year ago. They are no longer a one-answer team. They have layers. And that showed up clearly throughout the NBA Cup run. The Toronto game was the first real signal. That win was not about a takeover. It was about structure. The ball moved. The offense stayed patient. Brunson still scored, but his scoring came within the flow, not at the expense of his teammates. When Toronto helped, they paid for it. Bridges and Josh Hart punished rotations. The bench steadied the game when it threatened to drift. Towns impacted the game without dominating touches. That was not survival basketball. That was execution. Then came Orlando, and this is where the Knicks announced their new identity loud and clear. 132 points with only 7 made threes is not an accident. That is a choice. Orlando wanted a grind. They wanted half-court possessions and physical defense. New York refused to let that game exist. They attacked early, pushed relentlessly, and lived in the paint. They shot an absurd percentage on twos because they knew exactly where the advantage was and never drifted away from it. This is where Mike Brown's influence becomes undeniable. Pace is no longer random. It is intentional. The Knicks are not playing fast just to play fast. They are playing fast to expose matchups, to force rotations, and to keep defenses from ever settling in. When the threes did not fall, there was no panic. They simply kept attacking the same pressure points until Orlando cracked. By the time New York reached the final, this was no longer theoretical. The blueprint had already been proven in multiple ways. Balance, structure, adaptability. The only question left was how they would respond when the game turned ugly. San Antonio provided that test. The Spurs came in confident, fresh off a massive statement win, and they played like it. The pace was uncomfortable. The pressure was real. 4 stretches. The game tilted. This is where the difference between this Knicks team and last year's version became impossible to miss. They did not rush. They did not freeze. They trusted their reads. OG Anunoby set the tone early with relentless movement and physical finishes. He punished ball watching. He sprinted lanes. He powered through contact. His presence was felt on every possession. When the Spurs surged in the third quarter and momentum threatened to swing, New York never unraveled. Defensive stops led to smart offense. Brunson attacked when it made sense and deferred when it did not. The ball found the right hands. Then Mitchell Robinson completely changed the game without a single play being drawn up for him. Offensive rebounds piled up. Second chances broke San Antonio's spirit. Putbacks, kickouts, relentless pressure on the glass. That stretch was not flashy, but it was devastating. It turned effort into points and patience into separation. This is the new Knicks. They do not need perfection. They need connection. When the ball moves and the effort stays high, they are brutally difficult to beat. They can survive shootouts, grind fests, and chaotic momentum swings. That versatility is the difference. Brunson is still the closer, but he is no longer carrying the entire structure on his back. Defenses cannot load up the same way. The math has changed. Winning the NBA Cup is significant on its own, but what it represents matters far more. This is the first throw high the franchise has touched in decades, and it feels like more than just a moment. The Eastern Conference is open. Power structures are shifting. And for the first time in a long time, the Knicks look like they belong in the conversation with the league's elite. At the same time, this run also told us something important about San Antonio. They are ahead of schedule. They are fearless. And they are coming faster than people expect. But this moment belongs to New York. The Knicks are no longer chasing relevance. They are building something sustainable, adaptable, and dangerous. And if this version continues to grow, the idea of winning it all no longer sounds crazy. Now I want to hear from you. Do you think this Knicks team is truly built for a deep playoff run? Or is this NBA Cup just the beginning of something even bigger? Has their evolution officially put them among the league's real contenders? Drop your thoughts in the comments, hit the like button if you enjoyed this breakdown, and make sure you subscribe so you do not miss what comes next. This story is only getting started.